Hi, my name's Anthony Kelly. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I was also a combat medic. I'm also a runner. I'm not running because I'm fast or because I love it every day. I'm running because some of the people I love didn't get the chance to keep going. One More Mile Life After Uniform isn't really about running, though. It's about what it means to keep moving forward when things hurt, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and nobody can see it. I started this podcast for veterans who feel like they are carrying more than that they let on, for the ones who are struggling in silence, for the ones who feel like they are supposed to be strong enough to handle it on their own. I lost a man I considered a brother to suicide. And like a lot of us, I spent years asking myself what I missed, what I could have said, what I could have done differently. This podcast is my way of making sure those conversations don't stay unspoken anymore. On One More Mile Life After Uniform, you're going to hear real stories from veterans. No rank, no ego, no judgment. Just honest conversations about what service takes from us and what it takes to stay here after the uniform comes off. Some episodes will be heavy, some will be hopeful, all of them will be real. If you are listening to this and today feels like too much, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not weak for struggling. You're not alone in it. Sometimes the goal isn't to fix everything. Sometimes the goal is just one more mile. Thanks for being here. Now let's get into it. Welcome back to One More Mile Life After Uniform. Today on this episode, you're going to get me. I'm Anthony Kelly. I am a United States Army veteran, and I was a combat medic for the United States Army in 3rd ID. And I'm also running the London Marathon in hopes to bring awareness to veteran suicide and mental health in total. The reason I started this podcast was 4 years ago. I had a very good friend that I considered a brother come up and visit us, me and my wife, up here in Virginia. He came just at the same time that I had to go back home to Iowa to be at my grandmother's funeral. And he had offered to watch our house for us, which was amazing because we have 3 dogs, and having to find a dog sitter or take them to, a place to board them, it was just a lot. So he was like, I will watch your house for you. So he came here. While watching our house, he decided to take his own life. It was a day that I will never forget. It's a day I wish I could forget, but I won't. It's a day that I lost somebody and started questioning everything. And that's why I started this podcast, was those questions that I had, whether they were valid or not. I don't want other people to have to ask those questions. I want people to understand it's okay to talk. I want people to understand it's okay to struggle. I want people to understand it's okay to do a lot of things as long as you're talking about it. When it comes to us veterans, we don't do that all that much. We bury it. We try not to think about it. We only think about the good times. We don't talk about those bad times, even though those are the ones that are actually on our minds all the time. We just hide everything. And the reason I started this podcast was to make sure that other veterans can hear what we talk about on here. Because I'm gonna host a lot of other veterans on here that give some of their experiences, give their techniques, give their way of life that helps them. So maybe one of the other people listening to this goes, man, I should try that. Because not one way is going to be good for every single person. What I do to help myself get through things isn't great for my wife. Uh, me and my wife are completely opposite. I would rather get out of the house and go do stuff and always be boom, 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 boom going. She likes to play games on her computer or knit or watch a show or, kind of do those kind of things. So not Not one single thing is going to be good for every single veteran. It's just going to be a whole collective idea so people can learn different ways to operate, I guess. And with this podcast, I would also like to reach out and talk about the transition of things, going from having a purpose every single day to feeling like you don't have a purpose, even though you do. It took me a long time to find my purpose, and I think I have. I have so much of this affect my life that I think I have found my purpose. And on top of my family, and I coach wrestling, this is what I'm going to have as my purpose, is to help people understand it's okay to not be okay as long as you talk about it. The other piece that I mentioned is I am training to run the London Marathon. I ran several races already leading up to this, and I'm running to bring awareness to veteran suicide. Not that we don't have enough of it. I don't feel that we have enough of it because I feel that people sometimes think that 22 a day, that 22 is a cool number to put on the backs of their bumpers. Or, oh, I support the 22. Okay, well, what do you do? Do you talk about it? Do you talk to veterans that you know? Do you ask people if they're okay? Um, it's those kind of things that I think people think it's a cool idea to back, but are we? Are we talking about how we can help, or how do we help? So, that's kind of what I want to do with the London Marathon, is bring it to everybody's attention that is still an issue. And when I talk about still an issue, I'm going to bring that up in the next segment of this show. But that's the whole reason I'm running. And when I run with a sweatshirt on that has names of people that have taken their own lives. And the reason that I do that is when I get to the finish line, I turn it around and their names cross that finish line before I do. Because this run isn't for me, it's for them. I want their story to continue. Their story should continue. It was taken way too soon. I want their names to continue to be talked about. And that's the reason that I'm running these races. That's the reason I want their names pushed forward. On the names, if you're listening to this and you have somebody's name that you want to add to that, I will, at the very end, I will put a website or an email that you guys can send the rank and the name, and I will add that to my shirt, and I will run with their name on as well. I do not need to know them. If somebody wants me to run for their loved one, I would absolutely do that without question. So a little bit more about the mental health side of things and why I thought the first episode was important to be me. Tuesday of last week, I received another phone call. And it was a phone call that way too many of us veterans get. And this one hurt, and it hurt a lot. A brother of mine, a teammate of mine, a very good friend of mine from upstate New York took his own life last Tuesday. I was woken up in the middle of the night because I had a cold, and I took a bunch of cold medicine, and they ended up reaching out to my wife, and my wife had to come wake me up. And then I reached out to them, and they asked if I was sitting down. And when that question comes, it's bad. I wasn't thinking that I was going to hear the words that I heard. And then when I was told that our brother had decided to turn a gun and take his own life, I was in shock. I had just woken up and was told that I'm no longer going to see one of our brothers. I did what everybody does, being in shock. I just kind of tried to push it to the back of my mind, went back to bed. I had to go to sleep. It was late. I had to go to sleep. I can't do this again. That's what I was telling myself, is I cannot do this again. Wednesday, I wake up and I feel kind of just there. My mother had called. I told her what happened, and she kind of gave me my space and let me, she told me that she loved me. She was here for me. And I kind of just thought, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. I went out, and due to me running for mental health and suicide awareness, I decided I was going to make a Facebook video about how we cannot keep doing this. This can't be the way. We are supposed to die because we are getting old. And my teammates, my friends, we are not getting to that stage. We are taking our lives beforehand. We're not talking. We're only talking about good times. We're not talking about the bad times. And I understand why. I understand there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of thinking that we're going to judge, or you feel like you're a burden to somebody else, or you're just stuck in the culture of being okay, being I'm fine. And that's exactly what I did. I got stuck in the I'm fine, I'm okay, it'll be all right. I kept pushing forward like I was fine. I got a couple phone calls. My sister had called, and every once in a while, the sadness would creep in, and I'd push it away. I'm all right. I'm all right. Um, and I did that for a while. I did that. I did that throughout the weekend, and then the services came about, and I headed up to upstate New York on Wednesday for the wake. And even when I walked into the wake, I was not feeling like I was ready for it, but you never really are. And I got into there and instantly met by my old team. I continued to be the medic that I used to be and shoulder all of their stuff and show that I'm fine so they could have their break, so they could break, so they could share their emotions. I was told by one of them that he was happy I was there because he knew I understood what it felt like, because he lived with our teammate when it happened. And he knew that I went through this when Will had come to my house and taken his life. So he was happy I was there because he knew I knew what he was feeling. And like any good combat medic, I shouldered that and I said, absolutely, I am here for you. Anything you need. Not once was I going to say anything about the fact that I'm struggling or I need to talk to somebody. I did what I always do. I pushed it away, pushed it to the back of my mind. So all of Wednesday comes through and we end up going to dinner and seeing everybody. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of us getting back together and talking about the good times that we had with him and talking about the experiences that we had with him, which was great to do. It just felt great. But at the end of the night, I go back to my hotel and they all go home. And I can't get that feeling that we just went out and he was not there. I can't get the feeling that I was missing something. And I was missing my brother. So, like I do all the time, and this is becoming repetitive and I know that, but I pushed it back. I called my wife, I talked to her, she knew I was struggling, she just didn't want to push, and she asked me how I was doing, and once again, I'm doing okay. It sucked to be there, but I'm doing okay. And that was my answer. Decided to go to bed, went to bed, woke up the next day, get up, jump in the shower, get ready. And like true military, I am way early. So I'm going down to the funeral home and I'm way early. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop in and grab something to eat. So I ran through Dunkin' Donuts. In the line, I could feel on my face something was running. And I didn't realize. By the time I got to order, I was crying. I wasn't thinking about anything. I had my music on. And here I am about to order food, and I can't even come up with the words to order my food because I got tears coming down my face. And now I'm lost. And I didn't know what to do. So I finally struggle through my order. I get up, I get my stuff, and I just got munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts. And it felt like every time I put a munchkin in my mouth, I was crying even more. I get to the funeral home. I'm the first one in that parking lot. I back my truck in. And now the benefit of my truck is I have so tinted windows that you can't see that I'm sitting in my truck. So I back my truck in and I'm sitting there. And at this point, I'm staring at the funeral home and I'm scared to go in because I'm broken and I've yet to admit it. One by one, my old teammates, my family, they all start showing up and backing their truck in next to mine. And down the row. It was pretty funny because here we are, all of our trucks just lined right up like an old family, like a teammate, one by one, boom, boom, boom. Benefit of my truck once again, you can't see me in my truck. So I, at that time, am trying to push everything away. They do not know I'm in my truck. They think I'm inside. So I am trying to clean up my tears. I'm trying to hide the fact that I am broken, hiding the fact that I'm not okay. I'm hiding the fact that, and when a lot of people hear this, no, I don't ever want to take my life, but I can tell you that on the way to the funeral home, I did not care if I wrecked my truck. I did not care if something happened. That thought of that happening did not bother me. And I'm going to go into why that is down at the end of this, but that feeling didn't bother me. I would have rather wrap my truck around a pole than go into another funeral. That was my feeling. I can't do this again. My why is not there. It was hard for me to picture my kids. It was hard for me to picture my wife. It was hard for me to picture my wrestling team and all these things that I lived for. My mother, my father, my grandfather, all these people that I lived for. It was so hard to see because here I am once again going through such a painful and hurtful thing. And instead of talking about it, I continued to push it down. And that's when it led to me thinking that that was okay. So I'm pushing all those feelings away and everybody's getting out of their truck. So finally I open my truck door and literally my buddy's wife looks at me and goes, "Oh, we didn't even know you were in there." And they come over to me because I'm the one that knows how to tie ties. So I have to tie everybody's tie and take care of them. It's the medic way, right? That's what I do. That's who I am. That's my identity. I'm the one that takes care of people. We go inside, and at this point, everybody's kind of feeling it. And I'm still the one that's okay. I'm still the one that's hiding that I'm okay. Right? We go into the funeral home and we go to sit, and none of us want to sit up front. So we all sit in the back. I can't even sit down. I looked up there and I seen him laying there, and I couldn't bring myself to sit in the chair. I couldn't sit down. The only thing I could think to do is before anybody realizes I'm struggling, I need to get up and I just need to walk out, and I'll walk out into the gathering area and I'm going to get my wits about me and then I'll come back in. So I do. I go out, a couple tears run down my face. I push them all back again and I walk in, tell myself, "You got this." And I go sit down. And I'm sitting next to a couple really good friends, very, very good friends I've known for a while. And I look over and the co-founder of the MMA team that me and this other guy started, I look over at him and he is broke. I can see the tears rolling down his face. He's struggling and he's hurt. And it broke me. And it broke me to the point that I started realizing that myself telling myself that I'm not okay when I'm not. I'm not okay. And I started having to tell myself over and over that it's going to be all right, but I'm not okay. This one put a hole in me that I don't know if I can fix that. So we're sitting there and the funeral goes off and they ask people to speak up. So I speak and I talk and I give some insight to what Shane meant to us and our team and our family. And as I'm talking, I can feel it. I'm struggling to not cry. I'm struggling to keep it together. And then we go up and we say our final goodbyes. And I realize that that's where I am broke. I couldn't walk forward to give my final goodbye almost. It was where I realized that I'm not okay. I had friends standing there that knew I was not okay, and they had my back as soon as I turned to them and I said, I'm not okay. And I walked up with them and I said my final goodbye. And it made me realize that even though I was not okay, my friends were always going to be there. My family was always going to be there. I just needed to tell them that I'm not okay. Because the more I tell somebody I'm okay, the more that they think they don't need to check on me. But as soon as I said I'm not okay, my truck was not empty when I went to the cemetery. I had someone riding with me and talking to me and trying to get me to laugh and just talking about the old times and putting it back. And when we left the cemetery to go to the lunch, once again, my truck was not empty. My family was with me. They were there because they knew I was struggling. They knew I was hurt. On my way home from the funeral, I came home on Friday and my phone had so many text messages from family members and friends and everybody that knew that I was not okay because I did tell people that I was not okay. And they were checking on me to make sure to tell me it's okay to not be okay, but we are here for you when you're ready for us to talk or for someone to just listen to me talk about Shane. My wife knew the feelings that I had of feeling guilty about not wanting to be here, but then at the same time being here and feeling that guilt and then feeling the loss of having someone die. And she just listened. There was no judgment. There was no nothing. She just listened. And what it did is it taught me that everything I'm trying to fix, everything I'm trying to bring awareness to, I do myself. I became part of that I'm fine culture. I became part of the I didn't want to burden you piece. And that's why I made this podcast, is because I want people to know that you're not alone. You're not alone when it comes to that. You're not alone when it comes to asking for help and not knowing how. No, I don't ever want to end up in a therapy chair. I don't ever want to end up in a hospital, but I do need to be able to talk. And it took me up until now to realize it's okay to say that I'm not okay. It's okay to break. It's okay to struggle. Just don't do it by yourself, because you can't do it by yourself. There's a lot of things you can do by yourself, and you can do. I'm running for the marathon. I'm going to do that by myself. But guess what I do have? I have an entire support team. And that's kind of like PTSD. You have to experience it all yourself. The mental stuff, it's all yourself. You're going to experience it all yourself. But just like running, you have an entire team behind you that's going to listen. They're going to try to help you in any way possible because they want you to be here. They want you to do what you want to do and train and do all the things, right? They're going to be here, but you have to be able to ask for help. And that is the hardest piece, is asking for help and admitting that you're broken. And I understand that. I truly do. And I want you to know, whoever's listening to this, that when you get to the point that you feel that you need to ask for help, and if I don't know you, you feel free to reach out to me. I will talk to you at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I would rather talk to you and know that you're still here one more day rather than hear that you've taken your own life and no one was talked to. I would rather it was said to me at the funeral, because when I finally admitted that I wasn't okay, one of my friends said, I would rather be picking daisies than you pushing up daisies. And that hit hard. And I want veterans to know that it's okay to do that. It's okay to bother us. That's what we're here for. You would have no problem in the military bothering one or the other person when we were in. We used to duct tape people to stretchers just to make fun of them. So we have no issues giving people a hard time. We can still reach out to each other, and it's okay to not be okay. So after all of that, after everything that went by, and I learned that talking about not being okay doesn't make me weak, it actually made me stronger. It made me stronger to be able to talk. It made me stronger as a person. It made me want to do everything I possibly can to stay here. And that is my story. That is my story of what just recently happened. And I'm hoping that someone can resonate with it. I hope that people understand what this podcast is going to be about, because you're going to hear other stories from people and they're going to be a little bit more than mine. Mine's just about this event that just happened. But you're going to hear stories from people on how they had to go through family life, how they had their struggles in the military, and how they overcame them. Some people didn't overcome them and they struggled longer. And you're going to hear those stories too. The the way I would like to end this today is, one, I would like to tell everybody that no matter what you're feeling, I love you. There is a reason for you to be here, because I need you to be here. I need you to be here because we cannot struggle in silence anymore. I need you to be here because we cannot continue to lose each other. We cannot continue to get those late night calls. We cannot continue to show up at wakes and funerals. We just can't do that. We need to start the conversations, talk about the hard things. Family members of veterans, sometimes we just need you to listen. And when they start to talk, just listen. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to listen. And I'm here for you all the time, 24/7. As for my brother that I lost 4 years ago, I will miss you each and every day. You are my guiding force in what I do. As for the brother I lost last week, like I said at your funeral, you will be missed dearly. I will love and miss you. Your kids will be taken care of. Your family will be looked after. And I really wish that you could have seen the amount of people that were there for you. These conversations matter because I think that people don't realize that how many people are going to show up at their wake or their funeral and how bad it's going to hurt. When we talk about the next episodes, I want you to hear the meaningfulness behind them. I want you to hear the pain that has gone into them, but at the same time, the hope and joy that has come out of them. When you feel that the day has been too heavy, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are a lot of us out there that feel that way. And I want you to know that there are people out there that are willing to listen to you. There are people out there that do understand what you are carrying. You don't have to fix everything every single day. You don't have to have it figured out today. Sometimes the goal isn't to fix everything. Sometimes the goal is just one more mile. I want you to join us next week. Next week, we're going to have on a very good friend of mine, Michael Dorton, and we're going to talk about his struggles in the service and outside of the service and some of the things that he does and doesn't do. So please join us next week for that. It's going to be a great episode to listen to. He's going to give a whole new perspective on things. You are going to get another combat medic, so be ready for that. But I am really excited to have him on the show next week. And if anybody has anything and you want to reach out to me, please feel free. If you would like to be on the series, please reach out to me. I'd love to have everybody on as we can. And once again, I hope you guys all have a great day, and thank you for listening.